What happens when a pinned pawn, a cocky queen, and a dramatic sacrifice all collide? Welcome to Don't Horse Around, a hilarious and mind-blowing animated chess puzzle from chess.com. In this video, we bring the board to life. Watch your favorite chess pieces argue, panic, brag, and roast each other, while secretly executing a brilliant tactical combination.
Okay, team. I'm currently being stared at by a rook on c2 like I owe it money.
Not money, just your entire position. Also, that pawn on f2? Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
I swear I could totally take that queen on e3 if someone would just stop pinning me.
Oh please, darling, you couldn't capture me if I handed you directions and a map.
Wow, bold words from someone standing on a square called about to get captured.
All right, everyone, enough chatter. I see the solution, and it involves me being fabulous one last time.
Wait, one last time sounds extremely suspicious.
Trust me, this is going to be legendary.
I regret everything.
Queen takes rook on c7 with check, and yes, I made it look good.
Excuse me, personal space. Also, where did my rook go?
Oh great, now I have to clean this up.
Oh honey, you just walked right into it.
Fine, I'll handle this myself. Rook takes queen on c7, problem solved.
Wait, why do I suddenly feel targeted?
Hold up. Did the pin just disappear?
Oh, it disappeared all right. You're free, buddy.
Wait, the rook moved from c2. I can breathe again.
You mean I can move? I have legs again?
No. I preferred you immobilized. Let's go back to that version.
Sorry, Your Majesty. Time to clock out.
You got taken by a pawn. That's gotta hurt.
I have been betrayed by physics.
Pawn takes queen on e3. Who's helpless now?
First a rook, now my queen. Is this a tragedy or a comedy?
It's a win, that's what it is.
Team, that was brilliant. Sacrifice, deflection, and boom, queen gone.
From pinned to hero, someone write my autobiography.
Title it, Don't Horse Around, unless it works.
Today we're diving into the chess.com puzzle titled Don't Horse Around, published on April 10, 2026. This is a wonderfully instructive position that highlights the power of tactical awareness, especially when pieces appear constrained or pinned. At first glance, white seems to be in a bit of trouble. The pawn on f2 is pinned by the rook on c2 against the king on h2, which prevents the natural capture of the black queen on e3. Many players might hesitate here, thinking they must resolve the pin first. But as the title hints, this is not the time to horse around with slow moves. This is the moment for decisive, tactical action. The key idea is to recognize that sometimes the best way to solve a problem is not to defend passively, but to strike with force. White has a remarkable resource that turns the tables instantly. Now let's examine the first move. White plays the queen, moves from d8 to c7, capturing the rook on c7 and delivering check to the king on g7. This is a brilliant queen sacrifice, and it immediately forces black's hand. Notice the multiple purposes of this move. First, it removes a key defender. Second, it creates a fork-like situation where the queen on c7 is attacking both the king and indirectly influencing the rook on c2. Third, and most importantly, it deflects the rook from c2, which is the piece responsible for pinning the pawn on f2. This is a classic example of deflection combined with a forcing check. White doesn't waste time trying to untangle the pin. Instead, they eliminate the root cause. The check ensures black cannot ignore the threat, making this move extremely powerful and precise. Black's response is essentially forced. The rook from c2 moves to c7, capturing the white queen. At first glance, it might seem like black has simply won a queen. However, this capture comes at a significant cost. By moving the rook away from c2, black has abandoned the pin on the pawn at f2. This is the critical moment where the tactical idea fully reveals itself. The rook has been lured away from its defensive duty, and now white can finally execute the follow-up. This is a textbook example of a decoy tactic. Black's rook has been dragged to a square where it no longer serves its original purpose. Strong players always look for such opportunities to exploit overworked or critical defensive pieces. Now comes the final and decisive move. White plays the pawn from f2, moves to e3, and captures the black queen on e3. This move is only possible because the pin has been removed. What a transformation. Just one move ago, the pawn was completely immobilized, and now it delivers a crushing blow by eliminating black's most powerful piece. This sequence demonstrates a beautiful tactical flow: sacrifice, deflection, and recapture. White has traded a queen for a rook and a queen, emerging with a decisive material advantage and a winning position. The coordination of ideas here is what makes this puzzle so elegant. It teaches us that even when a piece appears stuck, like the pawn on f2, there may be a dynamic solution that changes the entire evaluation of the position. So remember, when the position calls for it, don't hesitate, don't horse around, calculate precisely, and strike with confidence.
Enjoyed the video? Hit like button to support more animated chess content. Subscribe for daily chess puzzles and strategy breakdowns. Comment your favorite line from the pieces. Check out our playlist for more animated chess puzzles, funny chess, and tactical mastery. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.